Hello, and welcome to Famicast 131, your Famicast for the early part of August 2018. I'm your host, Danny Bivens, and today I'm joined by James Charlton.
Yo, 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 it's Mr. Worldwide, Mr. 305, up
There
in
it
this
is.
jive.
That
Let's do
guy. Oh, per request, I should have started this out as you were watching a Famicast podcast.
it.
Basically started out like we do the reviews, but it's over. We're also
Right,
joined,
yeah.
also joined by Cyrus Delaney.
It's me. I'm an occasional guest now.
Yeah. Well, as long as we can have you on like once a month, man, or like, once every 6 months, I'm pretty happy about that.
You'll still do 100% more Nintendo talk than Ty, despite him being on every episode.
God bless him.
Good luck
Ty,
to him. Where is he?
Ty today is missing in action. I could understand this. It's Evo. It's going on right now, and I know Cyrus is probably itching to probably watch some stuff too. Yeah, so Ty is kind of busy with just watching up on that stuff. I get it. That's totally cool.
It's like on RFN when Greg, has a leave of absence because he wants to watch the American football. We've got, Ty missing because he wants to watch Evo.
Yeah,
Exactly the same.
I deliberately plan around stuff like NFL stuff because I don't want to miss it. So I try not to do podcasts on Monday nights when I would usually be watching football.
Oh yeah, it's great to be the king, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
The schedulizer. That's what we call him.
Exactly. Alrighty. Well, we're going to go ahead and kick off things per usual with new business. And Cyrus, since it's been a little while, would you mind kicking things off for us?
Yeah. So I've been crazy busy recently. So all my my gameplay has been going towards two very long overdue reviews for the website. So I played a bit of the Framed collection on Nintendo Switch. So this is it's kind of an older game and like an iOS game, I think.
Right.
Where it's like a puzzle game where you rearrange comic panels and like try and change the outcome of a given comic panel. So say you're getting chased by a guy, you have to like rearrange the corridors so that you can stay ahead of this dude and escape to the next page. And it's such a weird concept. Like I remember seeing it years ago thinking, man, how do you make an entire game out of this? And very well, apparently. It's a short game, but it's a really good one.
Nice. Hideo Kojima's favorite iOS game.
Yeah. Is that actually true?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, it's definitely, it's like a complete package. It's like a polished little thing, so that's nice. From an iPhone game, that's not what I would expect.
Yeah. So did you play it portably, like an iPad kind of thing, or?
I played it mostly on screen, like on my like docked Switch, but I tried a few out on handheld, and it's clearly designed to be played on a phone, so it all works totally smoothly on your
way faster. So for the controller, is it like hold A and move the stick, or is it like tap and it picks it up?
Yes, you just tap on a panel, then you slide left and right with and it'll automatically, if you tap left, it'll just swap two panels, and then you tap down, it'll swap two more panels. So it's really quick. Like, it's really snappy to get through the whole thing.
Cool.
Yeah, so it's cool. I comes recommended. Just be warned, it's very, very short.
Yeah, I was kind of amazed at like how I don't know what I was expecting when I saw your video review, but everything after you even arrange it, it seems like everything kind of flows pretty smoothly even after you do it and while you're doing that.
Yeah, like there's so many permutations of how things can work out, but they have, they've covered all their bases. I've never run into a situation where the game doesn't know what to do when you rearrange panels in a weird way. Like it will always play out a story every time you rearrange the panels in any order, which is very cool.
At the time of recording, it's $9.99 on the eShop. Would you say that's worth it?
Absolutely. Like that's less than a cinema ticket. It's longer than a cinema visit, barely. So
right. There you go.
I am pretty good at puzzle games, though, so I might have gone through it a little faster than the average, but it's still going to be short no matter how you cut it.
So you're saying if it's Danny, just like triple, quadruple that time, and you should be fine.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I'm telling you, with puzzle games, I usually just hit a wall at some point. I just have to stop because I even then I come back like maybe an hour later and I'm like, oh my God, how the hell didn't I figure that out? I mean, yeah, not a
I hate this game.
Yeah,
this game sucks.
Basically. And then I write my review after playing for 30 minutes. Boom, there it is, guys.
Like there's very few very few comic pages in this game that would be so difficult because there's ultimately very little permutations you could do. Like whereas many puzzle games would have hundreds of thousands of possible permutations because you're only messing with like 6 to 10 panels. There is like a certain cap on how much you could hit a wall with this game. So it's good. It's very enjoyable and it's got a fun enough little story for what it is.
Nice.
Cool.
And the other game, rapidly going through, which is still in progress review, hopefully finished before this podcast goes officially live, is 20XX or 2000 XX, however you're supposed to pronounce this game, which is like it's a roguelike Mega Man X game, which is strange, like procedurally generated roguelike Mega Man X, where you go into a level and it kind of generates the level for you as you play. But
if you thought Mega Man games were too easy,
yeah, it's kind of it's really clever how they do it. Like you play through, if you say you end up in like the ice stage first, and it'll be a really simple stage the first time you play it. But then at the end of the level, you get to choose 3 more. You get to choose one of 3 stages to go through. And so you kind of go on this branching path through the game. And there's only like 8 possible stages, like a standard Mega Man X game. But the order you do them in decides how crazy and difficult the level will be. So if you play the ice level first, it's super easy. It's got a few basic platforming, very few enemies. If you structure the game so you end up hitting that like halfway through your playthrough, it'll be a little more difficult. There'll be more enemies. There'll be tougher enemies. And if you pick it as your last level, it'll be bonkers. There'll just be like lightning traps everywhere. The screen will be full of enemies. So it's kind of cool.
That reminds me of another game that somebody's talked about on this podcast. Maybe it was a game we played at Bit Summit, Danny. What was that, like kind of Dark Souls-esque game? And it was like basically like a boss battling game.
Yeah.
Whatever, you could do the bosses in any order you want, but like, you got weaker as you went through.
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
You have to like basically do the most difficult one first and then save the easiest one for last, because you're gonna have a lot less powers by the end of it and stuff like that. So I guess it's an indie programmer thing to do, isn't it? Is like let you choose your own difficulty, but like
definitely I think procedurally generated games is such a useful thing for indie games because they can't possibly match the content of a full company dedicated to a game. So they have to like outsource a lot of it to the computer to make the game for them. And with this game, it's kind of hit or miss. You start to see the pieces of the game, like, because they don't just randomly spawn platforms and hope there's a level. They put like set pieces together, and you get to familiar with what set pieces will show up in a given stage.
I kind of noticed something similar with the first person shooter Immortal Redneck. It's
I forget that's a real thing.
Yeah, I don't think it's actually procedurally generated. It randomly like puts you in like rooms or stages on like these different pyramids and stuff. But I mean, you could see that like, okay, I've seen this piece, here and there and stuff like that. You need to get it. You could kind of figure out how they kind of pieced everything all together. Yeah.
It's called Sinner Sacrifice, that game.
Gotcha. I keep wanting to say Salt and Sanctuary, but that's a different game.
Yeah, that came out this week.
Yeah.
I don't think Sinner Sacrifice is out.
No.
Even now, is it?
I think it's coming out maybe October. I could have sworn I've seen that somewhere.
Cool.
But yeah, that's all I've been playing for my sessions this week.
Which one do you prefer?
I'm honestly not sure. Like, they're kind of the extreme opposites. One is a thoughtful puzzle game that's really short, and the other is a basically infinite action platformer. So there is apples and oranges you can possibly get.
Yeah. Okie dokie.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
And it does look very, very Mega Man. But it's a little bit more expensive. That one's like $18.
Yeah, something. And the one thing I'll give it is it's the art style is atrocious.
Oh,
It's like,
Really?
shit. Really?
yeah, it's
Like
like
Flash game kind of style?
it's like how to draw manga. You know those books, the how to
Yeah.
draw manga books that are famously bad. It's
Right.
like that guy made a video game,
Wow.
and it's such a shame because the game is really good, and they like before you fight a boss, they have like the big splash screen where it's like, you have to fight Concrete Man or whatever, and they
Brilliant.
and they try to make it look like really cool. It's like this big dramatic action shot of the boss, and universally they are garbage. They're they look terrible, and it really makes the game look worse. These are so bad.
Maybe they
Wow.
procedurally generated those as well. Using Microsoft Paint and
Yeah,
a random pencil tool.
like I don't like ragging on artists, but this whoever drew this was not good enough to draw the pictures they tried to draw. Like even you can tell the guy is good at drawing heads from a very specific angle. And cannot draw heads from any other angle.
That sounds like me.
Right. Everyone's looking slightly to the left, no matter where they are on the screen.
Yeah, and one boss has like a long horn coming out of his nose, and the guy he doesn't know how to do something protruding from the nose, so it just looks like and he's
Right. Good luck to him.
yeah. He'll get better, I'm sure.
Yeah. 2000XX Part 3.
Plus
Will be
2.
all right. Yeah.
Can't wait.
That's like the
Yeah.
opposite of Owlboy, the game that I'm playing. It's like the greatest 2D art you'll ever see. It's amazing.
Well, on that note, James, how about you go ahead and tell us about
All right.
Owlboy and other stuff you've been playing?
So, sorry, you missed the last episode. Have you heard of Owlboy before? Sorry.
I've heard of it. I know it's a platformer of some description that's been floating
Yeah.
around for a while.
I guess, is it a platformer? That's a good question. Well, because you're flying for most of it. You know, if you're touching the ground, it's only for a few seconds in there to then jump and fly somewhere else. But it's like the most beautifully hand-drawn like pixel art you've ever seen. It's incredible. Like these really tiny characters, but they're so beautifully animated. I mean, I didn't know what like generation to put it at. It's not 8-bit, it's not 16-bit. It's like, you know, it's beyond 16-bit. It's like it's modern. It's a modern game, but you know, with kind of retro, you know, stylings, I guess. But it's really, really beautifully drawn. And think, you know, an artist person like yourself would appreciate just like how gorgeous this game looks.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm looking at footage of it, and it's pretty gorgeous.
like they even do things like, you know, animate the grass blowing and stuff like that, which is just a ridiculous thing to do when you have to hand animate grass. You know, most people would not do that. That's kind of like such a time sink, you know, to animate, you know, things that you barely even notice, like leaves and like things moving in the grass and stuff like that. You know, when it's 3D, you can just you can generate that with you know, whatever procedural stuff, AI or
really
whatever.
it adds a cool touch to it. Watching here, like it really looks like everything. It looks like you're high up and there's a nice brisk breeze. It's kind of cool.
Yeah. It's a very atmospheric game, and the music is really beautifully done, which adds a lot to it. I mean, I talked about it last time, but like I'm almost at the end of it now, and I have enjoyed it a lot, most of it very, very much. I hit a wall of difficulty, which kind of took me by surprise. Like, and when I kind of Googled like what to do, and I noticed that there were loads of other people who got stuck in the same bit. Is this because it hits you with, because most of the game is quite a gentle, you know, gentle game. There's not much difficulty. It's like more like puzzles and like finding where to go more than, you know, like killing dudes. I mean, you do shoot stuff. You've got these little characters that you pick up by their shoulders, and he's holding a gun, so he can shoot for you. You never usually get swarmed by stuff very, very much. You know, it's quite easy to just like, you know, take stuff out, you know, if you're generally careful. But then there's this bit where you're in these caves, and you kind of you trigger this kind of like level based kind of hazard, which is like these swarms of insects come out of this hole. And it's a pitch black cave, and you have to kind of light these lanterns to see where to go. But then occasionally there'll be like no lanterns, there'll be no light. And if you go into the darkness, you almost immediately die. You're like your life just drains really, really quickly.
Did you get bitten by insects or something?
Yeah, I guess that's the thing that they're going for. But like, there's these spikes on the walls that you can't see because it's pitch black. So you're kind of going through with like a little light, but then you just like walk straight into a spike, and then you lose half your health, and you go, oh shit, and you go back, and then then your back hits another spike and you die. So you basically have to like memorize this whole like route through the cave, and there's things swarming at you. Not only the little insects, but there's like other enemies as well that are kind of like these worms diving through the caves, like going from one side of the cave to the other, hitting you. And the beautiful animation actually has a downside to it because for some reason they decided to animate Owlboy's kind of hit animation, kind of like I don't know what you would call it, like a kung fu movie or like a fighting game. Like when somebody gets like hit and they kind of spin in the air, like, and then they kind of hit the wall and then slide down, and there's like all of that is beautifully animated, but like it's kind of like an uninterruptible animation. So you'll just be like flying along, and then you'll get hit by an enemy, and he'll shoot miles back, and he'll keep flying until he hits a cave wall. So it's like it's like spinning through the air, like, and they'll splat against the wall, slide down slowly with like this, beautifully animated like smoke coming down him, and then splat on the floor, and then you can regain, control again. So, which I mean, it's kind of like funny the first time you see it, and like if it happens in a big cave area, whatever, when it's bright, it's no problem at all. You're just like, oh, whatever, next time, and you know where the enemy is, and you shoot him, and you don't, and you just kind of forget about it. But when you're in a darkened cave and you can't see any of the enemies, and you're kind of getting catapulted back and forth between spikes and getting hit, swarmed by insects, it's just like, it's like so frustrating. And it's like you try to do it slowly, and you get hit by something because you're doing it too slowly. You try to do it quickly, you'll hit something ahead of you that you couldn't see. I must have retried the section like 50 times. It was ridiculous. Nothing up to that point took more than like 2 goes, like you did.
Was there any particular trick to getting through it?
It was just getting the right. Well, it was memorizing where all the spikes were, and then it was finding these kind of light orbs that are kind of hidden in the cave, and kind of holding that with you in your claws, and then using that as a light source. It's not enough to kind of get you all the way through, but it's enough to get you to a certain point. And then avoiding all the enemies, memorizing the enemy patterns in this cave, which is quite near the end. And then, basically like sticking to the light as much as you can. So it was a lot of memorization, basically, which, I think that's poor design. I mean, I think if somebody like level tested that and seen, people just dying again and again and again, not knowing where to go, not knowing what to do, not understanding why they're dying, they would have, maybe added more light sources or, done something to make that a little bit smoother. It was such an obvious brick wall. It was like, okay, this hasn't been leveled. This hasn't been tested enough. But once I worked out what to do, got through it, and it was like, oh, thank God, it was like, and then it was smooth sailing again. It was weird. It was just like one peak. So I'd love to see like if they had like a Meat Boy style death counter or like a Celeste style death counter. It'd be like, throughout the 10 hours I've played this game, the first 8 hours it's like whatever 15 deaths, and then the 7th hour it's like 157 deaths, and then the next hour it's like 5 deaths. The spike would be ridiculously high compared to the rest of the game.
And they probably have a way of tracking that if they wanted to. So.
Yeah, I'm sure they do. But because I enjoyed the game so much, even that didn't put me off. I pushed through, like the fact that I pushed through that bullshit. I mean, I did tweet a video. If you follow me on Twitter, you'll be able to see the video. I think my Twitter comment was, "This is bullshit." So you can see what the bullshit looks like. Follow me on Twitter. But straight after that, it was like this boss, which was just like amazing, like beautifully animated, like giant kind of ape King Kong looking thing, which is like just incredible. It was so fun to play, and it just kind of like made me forget about that awful bit that had just come before it.
Wonder was that deliberate? It's like we got to give them a carrot. We hit them with a bunch of sticks right there.
Right, exactly. Yeah, maybe it was that. Yeah, and they've even right near the end they've introduced another like not playable character, but like a what do you call it, support character, which adds a whole different move set that you hadn't had up until that point. So it's nice that, you know, even in the last third of the game, they're still introducing new characters and new kind of gameplay elements, which is pretty cool. Because, you know, I got the feeling that maybe that kind of monkey boss was kind of like the end, because after that there was another kind of very final boss feeling kind of boss, had a very epic kind of like almost cutscene end to it, like a controllable cutscene. Okay. Which is like had this epic score, and it was like, holy shit, this is incredible! Like, what an end to the game! And then like a whole new section opened up, and it was like, oh, okay, so this is not the end of the game. So I was like, I would expect, you know, as an indie game, I would have expected that to be the end, and it wasn't. So it's like, wow, they've put a lot of content into this game. So very, very impressed. I think there are some niggles with the controls. I think switching between characters and you know, picking stuff up is a little bit niggly. Like you're trying to pick up a support character, but then there's like a vegetable. It's kind of like Super Mario Brothers 2 USA, where you pluck vegetables out of the ground and then, you know, you can use them. But when you're like support characters standing kind of too near the vegetable, it's like you're trying to get the vegetable and you pick him up and you're like, no, I don't want to pick you up. I want
he gets priority over the vegetable.
Right. Exactly. You have to kind of throw your support character. Otherwise, like, no, fuck off over there. I need to pick up this vegetable because I'm low on health. But you know, it's not a big deal, but it's just you know, a little bit niggly sometimes. So yeah, that's Owlboy. I'll hopefully have a review sometime this week and video review sometime after. So please look forward to it. Next,
sounds like a hoot.
That's why we have Sairus back. Next one, I'm only going to talk about briefly because I've only played it for like 30 minutes. But this is a game that Danny's talked about as well, so I don't need to talk about it too much. But every single eShop in the world at the moment is having some form of summer sale. Probably Europe and America having the best one, like the most good games, most kind of indie games are on sale, I think. Japan has a bunch, but they're kind of like not really stuff that I'm interested in, other than the first party stuff, which I bought Mario Kart 8 Deluxe because that was 30% off.
I think, like you said, there's a lot of stuff that's some like Japan only stuff that I don't, I have no interest in.
Maybe like some visual novel stuff, maybe some just kind of RPG kind of stuff that I'm just like, not really my thing. So skip. But one thing did stand out, and that was Yono and the Celestial Elephants, which is just called Yono in Japanese.
Yep.
And that was 600 yen. I was like, fuck, why the hell not? You know, just, you know, a fun little, you know, action adventure game for 600 yen. And ever since its reveal in that Nintendo Direct, I always thought it just looked unbelievably adorable. It's like you just can't resist YOLO.
Right.
So yeah, I downloaded that, played the first half an hour, and yeah, I think everything Danny said about the game, he reviewed it as well. It's got a video review as well.
Yep, it does.
So yeah, if you want to check it out, you know, check out Danny's review and video review. I think I pretty much agree with everything Danny says. I mean, it's cute. It does have a few kind of niggly things about, you know, the controls and stuff like that, but it's yeah, I mean, it's like, you know, it's a 3D cute action adventure game for 600 yen. I mean, Jesus Christ, you can't go wrong with that.
Exactly.
So and it's nice that it made it into Japanese. The only the weird point about this is that it's actually language locked.
Yeah.
Into Japanese. I was like loaded up and it was like, okay, all the menus are in Japanese. This is weird. I'll just go to the option screen. Option screen is like, you can change the controls. That's it.
Yeah.
Like, okay. And then I'm like, okay, so how do I change this to English? Nope, you can't.
Yeah. And I remember
Such a weird title to pick on language locking.
Right.
Yeah, I remember tweeting something about that specific issue with this game a couple of months ago. I think when it first came out, I think it was May, and I noticed that on the eShop, it had the listing. It said Japanese only. It didn't say any other language. The Japanese eShop. I thought it was just an anomaly. I thought, okay, well, when it actually releases, it's going to be fine. But
and we have had that in the past, haven't we? We have had errors, even with first-party games. They've had errors. Like, what was that infamous one that I was kind of ragging on it for months because it was like
Kirby.
Yeah. Kirby was like Japanese only, but then like the day of its release, it just magically changed to English and Japanese.
Yeah.
But it isn't a mistake. It is only in Japanese.
And I mean, this stuff would be up to the publishers, and you know, they're publishing in Japan, and it's not the same publishers that published in the West. I think it's Circle Entertainment.
I mean, there's lots of reasons, but basically they made a separate ROM for the Japanese one. It's not a global ROM, which changes depending on your system language. It's like, you know, it's a package one of its own kind of thing.
Yep.
So they might have made other changes to it that we don't know. That's true, like other cultural changes, other localization kind of calls that they had to make. You know, we don't know. Maybe Yono says something really racist against Japanese people near the end.
Yeah, obviously. I mean, I thought I mentioned that in my review.
So you never know, right? But I mean, is it worth? Is his story good? Is it worth like, you know, trying my best to read all the Japanese out, or is it just like skip it? You're not going to miss anything. It
actually gets surprisingly dark. I mean, for a game of this type, it's not like super deep, but it went a little bit darker than I'd ever imagined that it would.
Jesus, wow, okay. So it's not the cute game that you expect it to be.
Yeah, a lot of like societal weird topics come up that you're like, wow, they're talking about this. Okay.
Cool. Yeah, it is very Zelda-esque. It's like, it reminds me a little bit of the DS Zelda games, I guess. Lots of cute wooden shacks with little windmills outside, combined with, you know, the elephant from Donkey Kong Country 3.
Right.
You know, it's kind of like that in 3D. You know, sucking up water and squirting it out.
Yeah, it looks cute as heck.
Yeah. So I don't know how much is it officially on the other eShops.
I think it's roughly $10, maybe. Could be.
Yeah, sounds about right. So yeah, anyway, that's enjoying that. And then just briefly mention Octo expansion. I mean, I've been playing it off and on. I mean, Yono is $15, by the way, in America. So yeah, Japan is way cheaper at the moment.
Yeah.
So Octo Expansion X, I don't know how much I'm through. I mean, I've unlocked a lot of lines and played through a lot of levels. I don't know how my feelings of this have gone up and down. I mean, Sairus, you're done with it, right?
Yeah, I cleared it.
Have you done the super special secret boss or whatever?
I have not done that. I keep meaning to go back and finish it. I smashed my head off that for like several hours and was like, okay, I need to move on to my life. I don't have time for this.
As far as I understand it, without spoiling it, it's like several kind of what do you call it? Evolutions of the boss, not evolutions, stages to the boss.
Yeah, so, I've gotten through several of the stages to what I think is the last stage, and it still like kicks my ass.
Wow, cool. Yeah, I mean, there are some really fun stages in it, but like, there are just some stages like when I see it coming up, I'm just kind of like, I just sigh. I'm like, oh, one of these again. It's like they do recycle a couple of ideas that are not fun, like for example, they're recreating the 3D objects with the blocks and stuff. I thought that was really clever.
I quite like those.
Yeah. The first one I thought, oh, this is clever. It's kind of like Picross 3D, but with Splatoon, you have to shoot out the blocks to match the shape that's to the left. But then it just, okay, let's just try another one, but with, twice as many blocks and like a more awkward set. It's like, okay, well, do I have to do this again? It's like, I like it when Nintendo have their, when they've got their really kind of clever puzzle hats on, they use one idea once and then they move on. How the Galaxy games did, like one idea for one stage, one planet, and then move on next stage. You're never going to see that idea ever repeated again. and it just makes it so special. You're like, wow, this is completely different from the last planet. But like with Octo Expansion, it's like, okay, 2, 3, 4 versions of the same thing, and it's just like progressively harder. But it's like it was already hard with the first version. It's like, and then the second, third, fourth time, it's like, okay, this is just ridiculously hard, and just now it's just annoying. It's like, okay, I can do this. I'm gonna smash my head against the wall till I do it, but it's like I'm not really having fun doing that. It would have been nice to maybe, because there's 80 stages. I mean, did it need 80? If there's only like 40 ideas in there.
Yeah, I get where you're coming from. I like the amount of stages, and I don't mind them reusing ideas. But definitely, if a particular idea doesn't gel with you, seeing it come up again, it can be very frustrating.
Yeah. I mean, if plays devil's advocate, there are some ideas that you do like, and then when you see them repeated, like, oh, cool, another one of these. I'm good at these or whatever. But I guess maybe that's just personal preference, because some people are going to like the grinding the rails ones or whatever. We have to shoot stuff when you're grinding along the rails. Some people might not like those. The shooting the balls ones. Keeping the 8 balls safe, or those kind of stages.
No one likes those.
You see, I don't mind those ones. But the block smashing one, not a big fan, and Sairus likes those, so maybe it's a personal preference.
When I did that block one, I finished the whole thing. It was the hard one. It was like the octopus shaped one, and I finished it, and I got like the thing was sitting in front of me, and I'm like, I wonder what happens if I break a block after I've finished the shape and like completed the stage. So I just shot one of the things and said mission failed, and it kicked me back to the whole thing again.
There you go. Lesson learned.
Yeah.
Never be curious.
Yeah, that Octo Expansion does not permit curiosity or faffing about.
Right.
Get it done, go home.
Exactly. But I mean, I've been playing a lot of Splatoon in general anyway, just regular Splatoon. So Splatoon is always being used and always being played. I mean, I just tweeted out my most played games of, what was it, July? And Splatoon 2, it was yet again number 1. Oh, here it is. My number 1 game played was Splatoon 2, followed by Fortnite, probably thanks to the Patreon stream that we did. Number 3 was Owlboy. Number 4 was Paladins. And then number 5 was Yono. So, Paladins. I mean, more on that later. Anyway, over to you, Danny.
Okay.
You're now listening to a podcast segment. His name is Danny Bivens.
I'm Danny Bivens, and I'll be talking about these games.
I played these games.
Yes. The end. Bye-bye. No.
I can.
So I've been playing a couple of different things, and 2 of which are Japan exclusive, and they'll kind of go as a set.
Exclusive.
Before I get to that, I want to talk a little bit about a game I'm working on a review for, and that is Hand of Fate 2. So I had no idea what the hell this was before James was like, hey man, we got this code, and I was like, okay, I'll do the review, whatever. And then then I was like,
I almost ignored it, but then I clicked on the trailer and I was like, wow, this is like high production value right here.
Yeah.
So we do get a lot of offers of reviews, and unfortunately we can't accept all of them because there's too many, and there's only, well, I almost said 4 of us, but technically there's only 3/2 of us doing reviews.
Mostly 2.
But we do have some intern help, as well.
Right.
I'm not calling you an intern, Sairus. I mean, other than Sairus, we have 2 more people helping out with the reviews. But
right.
Yeah.
Right. And I don't know why I just said I'll just go with this game, sure. And early impressions though. I mean, I'm really enjoying it. And just for a little bit of background on kind of what this is. So, okay, I haven't played the first game, so I have no idea what the hell happens in the story. But basically, with this game, it's based kind of around this card game, and you're talking to like what's essentially kind of like a dungeon master type of a guy. And
what are you buying?
Yeah, and like on this table in front of you, you have like your little piece that's your character, and you're starting on top of like these cards. And whenever you move to like these cards, he flips them over, and then it's like some kind of an event or something's happening. And, you know, there's a lot of text that you're reading about this stuff, kind of explaining what's going on. And I mean, there's a lot of things that can happen. You could just go into a town and it's like, okay, well, you're going to be in an arm wrestling match. And then sometimes they'll have things like, okay, to basically see how well or poorly you do, you have to pick through like 4 cards. And they have like, you know, maybe 2 of them, two of the cards are like, okay, you're going to fail this. And then 2 other cards are, you're going to have success. And another one's like, you're going to be super successful. So it's kind of like that. They also have segments, similar type of idea, but you have dice and you're supposed to roll over like X number or whatever. And that's kind of how that stuff works.
Is this a board game? Like you have to complete the board game, or is it just like what's the setup here?
It's like a board game, but it's with cards that are kind of laid out on this table. And typically you have to just get to like a specific card. It's not necessarily lined up in order either, depending on your level and like your story and what you're doing.
So the aim is to beat this guy in front of you.
He's like basically the storyteller. You're not really fighting him. You're just kind of going through your story, because not only do you have all this stuff that I just talked about, there are also combat things that you can actually initiate here as well. And with this stuff, it's, you know, you have certain cards for certain swords, shields, armor, and stuff like that. And before you go into like a story, you choose, I think it's like 5 or 6 cards that have like this type of stuff. There's one for like a support character and stuff like this. And some of this stuff you unlock as you're going along, like through these cards. So you don't start out with it automatically. They kind of just come out at random as you're playing.
So these action cards, these action scenarios, like it goes into like a 3rd person kind of like Dark Souls looking type scene, right?
Yeah, it's like, yeah, 3rd person action, basically section of the game, and it's pretty, you know, complicated. It's not like basically in the sense that it's, you know, it's a competent, you know, kind of brawler type of a thing. You have a block button, a hit button, a strong attack, dodge, you know, stuff like that. And enemies aren't it you know, surprisingly good. It doesn't look bad, because these are really very, very small areas. They're not big and expansive at all. So that makes it so that they can put more emphasis on your character model and, you know, the enemies and stuff too. The enemies aren't as detailed as your character model or as like bosses, let's say, but like, you know, they still look fine and animate just fine. And
cool. So there's bosses.
Yeah. There's boss characters that you come across. It's, yeah, I was surprised by how fun like some of this stuff was. And the combat can get pretty damn tense. Like as you're going through these different areas, you know, these different cards, you're also consuming food. And the food, if you eat food, it kind of makes it so your health regains or something like that. And if you run out of food, well, you might be kind of screwed.
Just like real life.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I was playing through an early section where there are randomly blizzards that come up, and that was fun. You just hit a card and says, "Oh, there's a blizzard," and you just start taking damage. Like you get a 10 off damage, 5, and it's like, okay, pick from these cards to see if you can get out of this blizzard. And 4 of the cards are like failure and 1 success.
It's like a choose your own adventure game.
Yeah, and it's, oh man, it was getting kind of annoying, but
choose a card, see if you live or die.
Yeah, and it's
you died.
You got a 1 out of 4 chance of, you know, not taking any more damage. Good luck to you.
Brilliant.
But there's always, like, when you're going through these different missions, there's always these different side objectives. Like, for example, you're supposed to have X amount of soldiers join your team, and you get this by doing XYZ, you know, with something on the map, you know, between the dice rolls and between picking out the cards. You can meet this objective.
So it's Fire Emblem as well.
Kind of, yeah. But yeah, pretty unique, pretty fun. I'm still really early. I want to keep on playing, and yeah, I'm hopefully going to have that review done either this week or next week. We'll see how that goes.
And this is, again, what's the name of this game?
Hand of Fate 2.
Hand of Fate 2.
Yeah, I know. I've never heard of it or its prequel. So
yeah.
It's prequel, yeah. Well, I don't think the first one is on the Switch, is it?
No. Even this came out on PC, I think, back in late 2017, maybe December or November or something. So it's been a known quantity on like Steam and stuff like that. So
the guy on does remind me of the Resident Evil 4. What are you buying?
Yeah,
guy.
He does look kind of like that.
This is $29.99.
Yeah,
on the eShop in America. So it's you know, it's not a AAA, but it's like a B tier game, isn't it?
I mean, not saying it in like a bad way, but yeah, I mean,
no, not at all. It's like it exists between the cheap indie games and the full retail $60 games. This is like, you know, it's a B tier. It's in the middle.
I've heard that it takes somewhere between like 10 to 15 hours to beat if you just want to get through like basically the main story stuff.
I would put Owlboy as a B tier game. I think it's above a regular, you know, cheapo indie game. Yeah, I think it's a step above those. So yeah, it's no by no means a negative thing to say that. You know, I think we need more B tier games because like you know,
definitely
we need like. I mean, sometimes you don't want to spend 150 hours and $60 on a, you know, massive RPG. You want like a smaller, you know, 15, 20 hour action game, which has got, you know, semi decent graphics and, you know, and a unique and a spin on the genre, you know, and a reduced price, you know. I like those kind of games.
Yeah, I can't say it enough. I was pleasantly surprised with this. The mechanics are fun. It's the gameplay with the action mechanics that was really cool. I was surprised. So yeah, so far I'd say check it out. Maybe wait for my review.
Yeah, like I'm looking at videos here, and now I do kind of remember seeing this at an E3 once when it was announced. Just the guy sitting at the table across from me with the cards, and like, oh wait, this kind of strikes a bell.
Yeah.
Hello, stranger.
Well, never entered my mind to play it though.
Right. Yeah, maybe the name is. I mean, the two in it is like, you know, the nail in the coffin, isn't it? It's like, oh, this looks good. It's a sequel. I don't know the first game. Fuck it. Not gonna buy that.
And as far as I know, it doesn't matter. You don't need to have played that first game.
They should just call it Hand of Fate DX or something like that.
Yeah.
In Japan, it might be called that. It's never going to come out in Japan.
Yeah, no Japanese release as of yet. But speaking of Japanese-only releases, something I did pick up that is exclusive to Japan just came out on August 2nd, and that is Pro Famista Evolution. Pro Baseball Famista Evolution. It's Famista.
Famicast Revolution? What?
Yes, exactly.
We sponsored this game?
We did. Yeah. Thank you, Bandai Namco. No, this Family Stadium series has been a thing since the Famicom/NES days. As a matter of fact, the very first Family Stadium game was the basis for RBI Baseball, the original title.
Excuse me, NES game?
Oh, God.
That's official now. It's official. It's official.
Suck it up. I don't accept it. NES. Anyways, so I mean, the series has been around for a long time. It's been on, I think, pretty much every Nintendo platform. There's 3 of them on 3DS. I don't think there's one on Wii U. But
there's many games that are not on Wii U.
right. So I think the last game that came out in this series was 3 years ago on 3DS, and I was curious about it back then, but I just didn't throw the money down. But this time I did. And one cool thing about this game, so it's not realistic looking, but it's very arcadey. I mean, in terms of looks and in terms of like gameplay, it looks basically kind of like an updated updated Famicom game with like 3D graphics. And they have like the licenses for the Japanese baseball league, all the players, as well as like some other fringe baseball leagues in Japan, like the women's softball league. You can have all the players from that, like Shikoku something league, this and this league, all sorts of leagues I didn't even know existed. You could like play as all of these different teams and people in this game, which is pretty incredible. And what also came with this as well is they, in partnership with M2 and Bandai Namco working together, they made essentially kind of like a remake of the original Famista RBI Baseball, and in like a 8-bit style, and they made it like as a downloadable bonus for people that buy this game. And so I went ahead and of course downloaded that because this is the full retail game too. So I mean,
so how did you buy this game? Like as a download card or a physical release or what?
They have a physical release and they also have it just available in the eShop. Surprisingly, a lot of third-party games here, you guys probably know, but a lot of third-party games here don't have download cards this time around for whatever reason. They did a lot on the Wii U and also for 3DS, but I can't think of any good examples of widely available download cards for third-party games here.
Right then. So you just downloaded it off the eShop?
Yeah, just downloaded it. I had some credit, and also I think I talked about it last time. I got this catalog from 7-Eleven. I mean, it's basically a library of like all of the 3DS games that were ever released, and they have like a digital code on the back. You can see the used code on here that I've already used. Good luck.
Oh yeah, John Cousins, friend of the show, Ego Otaku, he was tweeting that as well. Can we just call it a prepaid card that comes with a free catalog?
That's basically what it is.
Yeah, well, no, you keep calling it a catalog and you get a free prepaid card. No, it's the other way around, mate. Get it right.
Well, okay, it wasn't a free prepaid card because I did pay. Okay, yeah,
exactly.
Whatever.
It gives people the false impression you just picked up a free catalog off the floor and it's like, oh, look, there's 1,000 yen on the back. Thanks very much.
I probably could have just walked out of the store with this. When I brought it to the register, the cashier was like, "Oh, this thing's actually money. Okay." So I should have just walked out with a stack full of them, not say anything. But
later that day, the guy was fired.
Yeah,
as he gave away 20 free catalogs.
Yeah. But anyway, so yeah, I just downloaded it from the eShop. It's a pretty small file, like only 1.5 gigs or something. And I mentioned,
how much is it, by the way?
Like 66. Like I don't know, basically 60
so it's
bucks.
full price. Okay.
Full price game. But as opposed to the RBI baseball that I had talked about, that the series is kind of just went down the shitter ever since it came back in 2014. It's not really getting much better. This series is pretty high quality, and they have a lot more stuff than just baseball here. I had mentioned this on the last episode, I think, but they have like a kind of like a mini RPG mode that's available in the game where you're going through kind of like this Earthbound stylized graphics and playing like a baseball themed RPG. They have another mode where
cute.
Yeah, it's cute. I'm hoping to have some video footage of that up soon for you guys. And there's another mode where you have control of a team and you're basically kind of increasing their stats and stuff like this through basically playing well. And with this being kind of an arcade style baseball game, I mean, compared to RBI baseball, which feels like really sluggish and just slow, this game is super fast. Like the controls feel great. I mean, I instinctively, for like base running and stuff, I was just kind of remembering from like back in the day what buttons I would press to do this stuff, and just came right back, and I was just doing exactly what I needed to do. No questions asked. No need to go back and check out, the manual or whatever. I just knew what to do, and it felt great. I'm trying to think. There's probably a couple of other modes. Oh yeah, they have a motion control stuff with motion pitching and motion batting. I haven't tried that yet, but I probably will eventually.
Yeah.
Right. But for the retro style one, which is just called Super Famista Retro 2018, same thing. All of the MLB, the Japan baseball leagues, all of their teams, all of their players, all that stuff's in the game. It's kind of limited though. You can only basically play one game at a time. You can't do season or anything like that. But again, controls are really good. It's really sharp. I mean, the only problem with that particular game back in the day, it was a little bit slow when you're doing the fielding. It's still the same, so it's faithful. I mean, M2, they always do a great job of recreating these classics and stuff, and there's no difference here. They nailed it. So
when are you going to get stuck into the RPG mode?
When am I going to? Hopefully soon.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know how long it is. I mean, like I said, this is for $60. There's a lot of stuff that you can do here, so that's pretty nice.
Nice.
So yeah, so look forward to more of that.
Do you remember the days when Danny didn't talk about baseball games? Happy days.
Hey, at least this one has something to do with Japan. Hey, although I will say RBI Baseball did have a Japanese release simultaneously this time. So, okay then.
Right. How many baseball games have you reviewed for the Famicast.com?
Just 2.
Okay.
RBI Baseball games, actually. Yeah. Sairus is yawning. He's trying to say
and
something.
it's not even nighttime for Sairus.
Yeah, Sairus, wake up.
I was doing. I was briefly muted there. I apologize. A lot of my snide comments went unheard. I'm very sad.
Good. I won't cry.
But one of the reasons I was missing from a lot of Famicast was I was doing another job where I had to research a lot of SNK games. They made a lot of baseball games back in the old days. I know way more about baseball now than I thought I ever would. So it's nice to take a break from that, come back on the Famicast, and listen to Danny talk about more baseball games.
Well, I can go into the differences between RBI 17 and RBI 18 if you want me to. I mean, I'll be here all day.
What's next on the agenda, Danny?
Yes, so let's turn it over to Now Playing at thefamicast.com. And Now Playing at thefamicast.com, as always, lots of stuff going up on our website, lots of stuff going up on YouTube, lots of stuff going up for our patrons. And James, do you want to kick off and just talk about maybe some of the stuff that you've been doing recently?
Well, we briefly mentioned at the end of the last show that me and Danny were just about to head into the studio to record Famicast Screen Time, which is what we did pretty much straight after episode 130, the regular show. So yeah, patrons have already listened to that, enjoyed that, loving it. Me and Danny chatted about games, about TV and movies, and we talked about movie and TV as well. That's what it's called, Famicast Screen Time.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're still doing the bonus shows. We don't talk about them as much as we used to do. We now do one a month. We do one audio bonus show a month, and the other bonus that we do for our patrons is the video. So we have one audio show and one video. Well, it's not a show; it's a stream that we do with our patrons. So every month we ask one of our patrons to choose a game and choose the people that from the crew that they want to play with, and then we all play together. And so for the July request, it was Fortnite. We got the whole crew on. Sairus was there. So yeah, if you missed Sairus, go back and watch the Fortnite video.
The greatest Fortnite player.
Yeah.
I mean, I got #1 a couple times. I think I mentioned that.
But yeah, it was a lot of fun, and you should seriously missing out if you're not like a patron, at least like whatever tier $3 patron. You're missing out. It's an awesome video. It's basically like another episode of the show, except we have one of our patrons joining us, and we're playing games at the same time. So we're chatting and playing, and it's a lot of fun. We're going to do another one this month. This time the patron requested to play Paladins, which is it's basically Overwatch. So yeah, we're going to play Overwatch on Switch this month, and it's going to be awesome. So yeah, look forward to that.
Whoop, whoop.
We've also got loads of written reviews, which off the top of my head I can't remember. The most recent one that just went up just before we started recording the podcast was the Octopath Traveler, which was done by our intern Michael. Michael put in, I think he's had the game for like just over a week. He put in 70 hours.
Oh, I didn't realize he just had it that.
Because wow. Danny was kind of like initially kind of like tentatively, going to be on the review for Octopath Traveler, and then I talked to Michael. I was like, how are you doing for Octopath Traveler? Danny's on about 3 hours.
Yeah,
and he's like, well, I'm on about 70. I was like, yeah, I think you're going to do the review, mate.
Yeah.
So that's what it is. So read it. It's a really good review, and he really liked it. So yeah, it's worth checking out. Danny, can you remember other reviews that we've had going on?
Yeah, we have another review, same from Michael. It's for Figment on Switch.
Yes.
I actually didn't check this one out, so I just.
This is crazy. I mean, I think Figment comes from, as in figment of your imagination. Mm-hmm. It's like a really kind of weird indie game where it's so like the art style is like really high quality. It's like beautifully colored and animated and everything. It's just like a weird, crazy adventure game where it's like all completely voiced, and they kind of speak in like kind of riddles and stuff like that. It's like really well written, beautiful kind of indie games. Yeah, check out the review and check out the screens that we've got up there. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow. I think you pretty much nailed like.
Did I just ruin everyone?
Yeah, no, like pretty much all the content that we've been doing.
Well, last Famicast Friday, Danny, you had a bunch of stuff, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, I kind of briefly mentioned this in the new business, but I do have some videos up for the Famista stuff. I have a video. Basically, it's like two games of me playing each of the games, if that makes any sense. One playing the more modern Famista game, and another playing the retro version. So you can see basically how it looks, how it plays, all that type of stuff. Really cool. You should definitely check those out. And I mean, hey, you're open to actually go out and buy these things too. I mean, if you think it's a baseball game that you would like to play, pretty solid. So definitely worth considering.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've got well, Sairus, you've put a video up kind of recently, right?
As I was talking to my play this week, new business, I just put up a review for the Framed collection. So get some more in-depth thoughts on what I thought about that game on thefamicast.com.
Right. Danny, the Lord of the Rings video, that's a Patreon exclusive, right?
Yes. So yeah, exactly. For Famicast Screen Time, one of the topics that we talked about was Lord of the Rings, and I went in depth talking about the two towers on the GameCube, and I actually did some capture of it and threw a video together. And I had it like playing. If you're watching it on YouTube, of course, if you're a patron, then you can see it as James and I are talking. But if you wanted just to see the video, even I think if you're a $1 patron, you should have access to that, so you can see gameplay. And that's a surprisingly good game, even all these years afterwards. I was playing it just the other day for fun. So
yeah. It looks so shockingly good for like a third-party GameCube game, like and a licensed game as well. Wow, that's like, you know, all of the worst things combined, but actually turned out pretty good.
EA, I mean, EA really nailed it.
And it's EA. Oh my God, yes, Jesus Christ. An EA GameCube third-party game. Wow, shocking. So yeah, as we say, all of this and more on the Famicast YouTube channel. If you're a patron, you get all these videos like early, and you get, you know, videos that other people don't get. So, but yeah, if you don't want to subscribe to our Patreon, just subscribe to the YouTube, and you get tons of cool videos for free. It's amazing. All this and more on Danny
Famicast.com.
Oh, that's what it is.
There it is. All right, and James, I think you know what time it is next. No?
Oh, yes, the Japanese. That's right. I forgot.
Yes, it's time for the news, and got a handful of stuff that's been going on. It's been a bit slow lately, but hey, there's a couple of things that we've picked up out of the old trash can and put it on the Famicast for you today.
Brilliant.
So
enjoy that, everyone.
Yes. So, Sairus, do you want to tell us a little bit about the first little bit of news we got there?
Yeah, so first is Super Bomberman R. So Super Bomberman R has released 1 million units worldwide.
Wow.
So, which is pretty crazy. Like, I have this game. I haven't played much of it, but I own it, and like, it's really good. It has a lot of love put into it, which is
they're constantly updating this thing too, right?
Yeah, and like this is the new world Konami that everyone hates because they put no effort into anything. It's all just a cash grab. And this is just like, this seems to be where they're putting all their spare cash. It's like, we haven't updated Bomberman in a while. How about it? So yeah, it got a batch of new characters, like console exclusive characters were released for every system, and it's still being sold. So Bomberman went bungee jumping to celebrate.
Was that in Japan? Was that like a stuntman in Japan? Or?
I think so.
No, it was Bomberman.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Yes. No, I saw that bit of news on Japanese Nintendo, friend of the show. So if you're ever interested in seeing any Japanese Nintendo related news, you definitely need to be checking our boy Brian out on JapaneseNintendo.com. Be sure to do that.
That's right. Next is a very exciting news for a lot of people in Japan, and that is Undertale was officially dated. I mean, we had a bit of a leak maybe a month ago. Amazon Japan accidentally put something up, but now it's official. September the 15th. There's a physical collector's edition for 4,320 yen. Comes a lot of free crap, which is basically the same as the PS4 version that came out a while back. Or you can get it for 1,620 digitally. So yeah, it's the 8-4 friends of the show worked on the translation, the localization for that. This is the Japanese release, so officially we don't know the Western release, but I'm assuming it'll be around about there. And also, this game is originally in English, so it'd be very weird if it was a Japan-only language-locked version. But there is a risk that it could be that.
There is, but with 8.4, I mean, I don't think it's not only just localization. I think they're actually handling the publishing for here for this version. So, and you know, with those guys knowing what it's like being a foreigner in Japan, it's
I would be
having these
shocked.
type of options. I think they're
I would actually say this: if it is language locked to Japanese only, I'd be on the phone to A4 that night saying, "Guys, what the fuck are you doing?" So don't worry about it. I'll be on their case if they don't get that sorted out. But nice. I doubt they would do that. No, sorry, I'd fax them at least. Yeah,
you gotta get it right, man.
Gotta get it right. Fax. But yeah, that's really exciting. 1,600 yen digitally, man. That's day one purchase for me. Finally, Ty can shut up about that game.
Yeah, man, I remember when it came out on Vita and PS4 because it was cross-buy. Like, you'd have it on both. I have a Vita and I haven't played it in a couple of years.
Is this this episode's version of Danny buys a game 3 times and doesn't play it?
No. I didn't buy it. I did not. I was really thought about it, but
I got this on Steam like pretty soon after it released, and it has never been opened.
Oh man.
That's Sairus's version. Ty's version is like, do I have this game? Let me just look in my Steam library. Oh yeah, I've got this game, you know.
And all the achievements.
yeah. We all have our own unique twists on how we buy games. Games we own or don't play or whatever.
Or empty boxes you just pick up off the internet too, you know.
No, you're a psychopath, Danny, for doing that. That's literally the stupidest thing.
What did you do? There's a medical term for.
You've done that multiple times. What was the other thing you bought an empty cardboard box for?
No, that was that I've only done it 2 times. And that was last year, the Splatoon 2 console Switch box. It was 500 yen, and I think I paid probably more for shipping to get it shipped to me. And so that was a great.
Did I call you a psychopath then?
I don't think you did. I think. And
I meant to.
About this new one, I think you called me a maniac. Actually,
sorry, maniac. Yeah, that's more like it. Yeah.
At some point in the show, I'll reach over because it's right in my line of sight. I can see this box. It's for Aero Gauge on the 64. It's like a shipping box. You could fit 10 copies of the game in there. And unfortunately, after I bought this thing, I found another one on this same website that was full of brand new copies of this stellar Aero Gauge on the 64
for the same price.
Stuff about literally 10 times more.
Oh, okay. That would be brilliant if it was literally the same price. You bought an empty box for the same price as a full box.
Yeah, not this time.
That's a classic Bivens thing. That is.
Sorry to disappoint you.
Anyway, moving on.
Yeah, moving on. Just a couple of little things. I'll pick these up here. So yeah, the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate website is officially open. So I mean, it's going to be a drip feed of Smash Brothers stuff coming out. Really, nothing's come out of Evo, right, Sai?
Yeah, it's just like they had a bunch of exhibitions. They had Smash 4 just finished up there recently. No big announcements as far as I'm aware.
Yeah. It's not really a place that seems like a lot of that stuff happens for Nintendo-related stuff.
Yeah,
anyway.
They'll do their own Smash Treehouse event that'll just drop out of nowhere.
The latest update we're looking at today, which went up on August the 3rd, was that Rodan, the guy from Bayonetta, he's going to be a assist trophy.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool. He's like giant fist comes out of a portal and smashes people.
I do like the cute touch that he's like in Bayonetta, he's a weapons dealer. So when he leaves the stage, he might sometimes drop a weapon power up for you to pick up.
That's cool. Cute. Clever. subtle hints, subtle touches like that.
Yeah, that's
Smash is all about.
the mainstay of Smash.
There you go.
Yeah, another kind of little tidbit that I picked up from the My Nintendo store, which is the Japan-only version of basically My Nintendo stuff. Sometimes you can use your coins to go towards the purchase or give you X% off for stuff like this. But I saw that Nintendo was selling some mobile batteries, like Switch labeled, all this type of stuff on this store. Here in Japan, they're marked down, or they can be marked down if you're willing to part with 200 gold coins. They can go to 30% off. There's two models of these things, one starting at about 7,000 yen, the other starting at about 10. The main difference being basically how many charges you can get out of this thing. So,
oh yeah, I've seen those. These are on sale in the West as well, aren't they? Just on like regular Amazon.
Yeah, are they actually like Nintendo like labeled and stuff though?
Yeah. I've seen these making the rounds.
Okay.
Yeah,
I mean, they're pretty.
Kind of cool.
These things are pretty darn thin too. I was kind of surprised, like pretty sleek and not like not just like oh, this is an ugly charger. It's like no, it actually looks pretty slick.
Yeah, it's cool. Everyone should have at least one charger for everything.
I don't. After the stuff with those, the mini dock cables, I'm afraid, man. I'm afraid something's just going to screw up my Switch.
No, man, I just mean, well, yeah, but also, for your phone or whatever.
Yeah. I'm good. I'm usually not that far away from home, so.
Okay, fair enough. Sairus, I'm sure you have a mobile battery charger on your long ass commute.
I haven't. Am I on mute?
No.
Okay, good.
Do you want to be?
No, I'm very confused. There's a lot of people coming and going on my house today, but I have one. I haven't used it in a while though. I'm just going to work every day, and I just charge anything that I bring in work, so I haven't needed a battery.
So you're stealing electricity.
Yeah, because I'm really amazed. A lot of buses in Ireland now, like when I go across country, they've got USB jacks built into the buses.
That's crazy.
And even a lot of the cross country buses will have like actual plug sockets to plug stuff into under your seats, so you could charge a laptop or anything underneath them.
Under your seat. Wow.
Under your seat, yeah.
These are regular diesel powered buses.
Yeah, and what's even crazier is like intercity buses, like a 10-minute bus from here into town. They will have banks of USB chargers built into the walls too. It's crazy. Like, of all things for Ireland to be good at, it's USB charging.
There you go.
Weird.
Good luck then.
Yeah. Well, kind of continuing on the trend of the My Nintendo Store stuff. Another thing that I initially saw from our good buddy Japanese Nintendo, Brian, the My Nintendo Store also has a bevy of travel-related goods, ranging from suitcase covers, special bags, passport covers, slippers, because you need slippers in the airplane.
Yeah, I could use some slippers. What kind of slippers are we talking?
They're actually portable. You can actually fold them up and put them in your bag, kind of like compactor.
Oh no! I clicked it. I got the Nintendo Godzilla attack.
Oh really?
Yeah. It says oh, maybe it's because I'm on the wrong account. Maybe it's because I'm on my European account. Maybe
could be.
Oh, slippers for you.
For a brief moment, I saw some toad, some mushroom style slippers.
Yeah. No, I mean, these are really cool. I mean, on this same page, they also have the Zelda stuff that I talked about last time, like the acrylic board and folders. And right now, all this stuff is just available for pre-order. There's even like some cool passport tags. Like one is like Mario's like mustache and his nose, another of his hat, eye blind type of things, little neck pillows. It's actually, this stuff's pretty high quality and pretty damn cool.
Oh, so this is all like travel related.
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess it's to tie in with Odyssey being a travel game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, there are lots of suitcase stickers and stuff in Odyssey, aren't there?
Yeah.
That you apply to the Odyssey itself.
Right. So I'm thinking about maybe picking up some of this passport stuff because that's just really cool.
Do you have a passport?
No, I don't. That's the weird thing.
I shipped over here in an orange container.
Yeah, they couldn't find me. Right. Yeah. So if you live in Japan and have a Japanese My Nintendo account, you can get this stuff, or at least pre-order it. Good luck to you.
I'll send some money to Danny and he'll buy them for you.
Yeah, sure. Have a markup fee.
Become a Patreon exclusive today, and we'll circumnavigate shipping charges for you.
That's a whole different Patreon, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. That's my
online
first.
Famicast dark web.
Yeah, exactly. That's the other timeline. Sairus, do you want to talk about this next bit of news? Next
Yeah.
couple bits. Probably these are very Sairus.
So in the spirit of Evo, Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball Fighter Z, the open beta is coming to Switch for August 10th. That's Japan at least. I have the thing downloaded for the European one, but I can't remember what date it is.
I think it's probably
worldwide.
same. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's the same time simultaneously because I looked at the American stuff. It sounded like it was basically the same.
Yeah, I downloaded the European app at least.
Yeah, it's like a 3.1 gig download, which is kind of to be expected. And if it follows the other, like this is an Arc System Works game, so if it's the same as the BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle beta, it'll have basically all of the characters available to play.
Yeah,
which will be pretty sweet.
Said 23 characters I think are available to be able to play as in this.
Yeah, so there you go. And it's in English and Japanese and fully voice acted, so it's good times.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter what region you download it from, you're going to have it in probably some kind of a language that you can understand. If you're listening to us, you probably understand English. So,
what was that?
Not necessarily my English, but
have any of you played this game, Dragon Ball Fighter Z, on other systems?
I have not.
I've only dabbled a little bit. It's like it's the most mash friendly game you're probably ever going to play.
Didn't they add like a extra mashy options for it as well with this Switch version?
Probably. I wouldn't be surprised because like if you play at a high level, mashing will obviously get you killed. But if you're just playing it with your friends, you could just headbutt the controller and you like reenact an amazing Dragon Ball Fighter fight on screen.
Wow,
nice.
So like this is a great game to have a casual thing. I'm pretty stoked to see this on Switch. It's a good fit.
I'm gonna have a go of it, despite only knowing one Dragon Ball Z character, Goku. I'll still give it a go.
What kind of a nerd are you, James? Jeez.
Not a very good one, apparently.
I go by Cell on the internet, and there is a character called Cell in it, and I feel I have to use him, but I really hate Cell, so I don't know.
What, Perfect Cell? First form? Second form?
I think it's just first form Cell.
No, I think it's Perfect Cell. It's in the game.
Perfect Cell?
Nerd.
Perfect Cell's the big guy with the green shell thing.
Looks like a well, yeah, he has like a handsome face, but he has like wings.
Yeah, whatever.
That's Perfect Cell.
Come on.
What's this new thing Danny started doing, calling everyone nerds for not knowing nerdy things?
I don't know what you're talking. I don't know what you're talking about.
Nerd.
Nerd.
And yeah, so that's on August 10th to 12th, I think, is what we got.
Yeah, and we are going to try and stream some of that. At least a couple of us playing together. I don't know if you'll be able to play friend matches or if it'll just be random.
Or just random matchmaking. They're probably trying to test their matchmaking, so probably just that.
Yeah.
Well, we'll give it a try anyway. Maybe, I don't know. I download a lot of stuff and never play
it. Welcome to the Switch.
Yeah.
The console with no games, apparently.
Yeah, so the next Evo bit of news, which was actually really announced at Evo, is BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle. That is getting its final DLC releases tomorrow, which is... So you might remember this had pretty big controversy that it came out with the announcement that half of the cast was DLC. That it had 20 characters on disc, and then it would have an additional 20 as DLC.
Oh, so it's a Capcom game?
Oh no, this everyone gives Capcom flack, but Arc System Works are probably worse for this than Capcom are.
Wow.
At least Capcom will not be as brazen to put DLC characters on the front cover of the box you're buying.
That's harsh. That is harsh.
That's that made me boycott Guilty Gear when that came out because I thought that was just absolutely abhorrent to put DLC characters on the front cover.
All your favorite characters, Asterix.
Yeah. So they've been kind of drip feeding these character DLC packs of 3 characters will come out every couple of months or so. But they just announced yesterday, it's fuck it, we're releasing all of the last 3 packs tomorrow.
For free?
Oh no, they're €5 each.
Oh boy.
So the idea is the game is like it's a budget game price. So if you buy just the game, it's like cheaper than the average game. If you buy all the DLC, it kind of brings it up to the price of a standard game.
Okay.
The standard $120 price of a regular game. Yeah. Brilliant.
Yeah. But what they also announced was that so Cross Tag Battle has 4 franchises in it. It has like that Ruby online web series. It's got BlazBlue, Persona 4, and Under Night in Birth are the 4 franchises. But they announced a 5th franchise is coming to the game pretty soon. Oh my gosh.
Mario.
It's leaked to be Senran Kagura.
Okay.
You know that the giant booby
the giant,
ninjas.
the boobs game, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So
Makes sense.
Could be them, could be not. We don't know.
Shovel Knight.
Yeah. Well, he's coming to Brawl. No, not him. Dead Cells guy's coming to Brawl Out.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. And the other 2, not Banjo and Kazooie, Ukulele.
Yeah. Banjo and the Lele, yeah.
Yeah. Striking while the iron is hot on that one.
Right.
Yeah. So I have Cross Tag Battle. I bought the season pass for it, so I'll be getting all these characters, and I've still played that game like about 30 minutes. I really want to sit down and play it.
But back to Brawl Out for 1 second. Brawl Out has kind of become the Smash Brothers for, you know, characters that are never going to make it into Smash Brothers. Because, you know, people are like, oh, Banjo should be in, you know, Smash Brothers. You know, Microsoft, make it happen. It's not going to happen, mate. Brawl Out could happen. You know what I mean? Like Shovel Knight in Smash, probably not. Shovel Knight in Brawl Out, yeah, probably would happen.
Yeah, I almost think they that everyone expected Shovel Knight to be in it, and in Dead Cells, like when they announced him in the trailer, he holds up a shovel first, and I was like, oh, it's totally Shovel Knight, and it pans down, it's like, nope, Dead Cells.
Psych. Psyched you out there.
You know, I think I've mentioned this on the show before, but you know, Shovel Knight was published by Nintendo here in Japan, at least on 3DS and Wii U. I don't know if it's released on other platforms, but at least for those, they have some kind of a connection, you know, like a direct connection.
It's got 4 amiibo. There's very few other non-Nintendo games have that many amiibo.
Yeah, true.
But Nintendo only published it in Japan due to racism, so
yeah. AKA
that was back in the Wii U days, where it's like, oh, you're not Japanese? Well, fuck off. Back to your home country, because you're not going to publish any games here.
Yeah. You don't have a place of business here in Japan.
Unless you don't have an address and, you know, tax returns and, you know, a gas bill from Japan. Yeah. And you happen to be Japanese.
Right. Okie doke. Well, let's move on to some sales numbers. And these are some sales numbers, again, I picked up from Japanese Nintendo and also 4Gamer. And this is the latest sales numbers from July 23rd to July 29th. And for the software, we're just going to talk about the top 5 pieces of software here. And I'll go ahead and just read these out unless somebody, well, usually this would be Ty's job, but you know, Ty has better things to do, I guess.
Number 5.
Rockman X Anniversary Collection 1 and 2 on the Switch. This is physical, you know, stuff, and this is again from Media Create. I think it's their numbers.
You know, it's funny. This is one of those kind of Japanese moments. Like, it's got Rockman X Anniversary. I now think that's Rockman collaborating with Anniversary.
I had to do a double take when I read this too.
Yes.
Crossed with Anniversary.
Crossed with Anniversary. Yes. Nailed it. Rockman, of course, is Mega Man, for those that don't know. If you're watching us, you know.
I'm sorely tempted to get these games, and it's like, no, Sairus, finish what you have first. Clean your plate.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah, that's about 16,000 units. Coming up at number 4, the infamous Mario Tennis Ace. This game sold through about 18,000 copies here. It's just over about 265,000 total here in Japan.
Right.
Anybody still have any interest?
I wonder if that'll break the million ever.
I don't know if it would have done that. I think it would have had to start out a hell of a lot stronger than this. It
Yeah.
seems like this is one of the kind of games that, you know, evergreen. It's just going to be around forever.
At least they're keeping updating it and improving it. I don't think they're ever going to improve that story mode, but at least they're balancing the characters.
Right.
And I know this game is kind of slowly, kind of like Catherine, that old platformer. It's kind of getting adopted by the fighting game community because it's so close to being a fighting game.
Right.
Like there was a side
Exactly.
tournament at Evo for Mario Tennis, I think.
Yeah. I mean, this is the point when Ty would drop some sarcastic comment, but it was very much broken, wasn't it, until a couple of weeks ago? Because you could just win, but with using Baby Bowser and just, you know, mashing A or something, mashing the specials. But
yeah, he had some awfully balanced nonsense.
Yeah, but now that's been patched out. So good luck to people trying to still do that because it's not going to work.
Right. Yeah, continuing on here with the sales, coming in at number 3 is Splatoon 2, the game that just won't quit. This particular week, it sold through 20,000 copies, up to right around 2.5 million, Japan only. Pretty
right. I didn't mention this in my new business, but I just finished up the last semester at school, and we had everyone brought their consoles again, and so 4 people brought their Switches. 3 of them, the only game they had on their Switch was Splatoon 2. Like I'd never seen a home screen with like one icon on it. Yeah, like not even a demo, not even like anything, not even like Nico Video, which is like a YouTube, but with their shit plastered all over it. They didn't even have that. It was like literally Splatoon 2, and it was on. They had the game card version as well, so it was like the game was in it. I was like, why are you not buying the download? Then we're like, yeah. It's like, okay. That was crazy. And the other guy had Splatoon 2 and Xenoblade.
Okay.
So he only had 2 games. So like, I know that's not indicative of the whole of Japan, but just the fact, like, I mean, not only is Splatoon 2 like a system seller, but it's like literally that's the only game people play on the system sometimes. So it's going to be interesting to see how many of those people continue playing it online once you have to pay for online, you know. But if that's the only game they're playing, asking for what 3,000 yen a year is probably not going to be much of a big deal for them, you know, because they're not buying anything else.
Right. Yeah,
so,
it's exactly. I mean, what's that? I mean, just a couple bucks a month, really.
Yeah,
not bad.
So yeah, okay, and you'll be able to buy the prepaid cards in the convenience store or whatever, so people can pay in cash. So it shouldn't be any problem for them.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, yeah. Coming in at number 2 is Taiko no Tatsuji Nintendo Switch version. That particular week sold through about 28,000 units, up to just about 100,000 units. And yes, and that's the last bit of stuff that's Switch. Number one actually goes to Rockman X Anniversary Collection 1 and 2 on PS4, which sold through right around 30,000 units that particular week.
That actually does surprise me.
Yeah,
that it's actually PS4's outselling it, because
2 to 1.
Yeah, because I thought this would be a game that people would want portably, you know, but
and it's
I guess
historically Nintendo, at least the first ones.
Yeah, I mean, thinking about it, maybe more hardcore nerds in Japan are the kind of people that don't. I'm just saying, like, this is generalities here, but people that won't leave the house and they have a PS4. You know what I mean?
Right.
So maybe this kind of like makes a little bit of sense.
There you go.
Rockman's not the kind of game you could really play on the train very much. Like it's not a like very pixel perfect platforming action. It's hard to do in a moving train sometimes, so it wouldn't really appeal.
And it's kind of good timing to buy it and play it portably, because they just released that D-pad attachment for the Switch, which would make these kind of games a lot better to play portably. Yeah. Although apparently it does have terrible battery draining problems, but there you go.
Yeah, friend of the show, Perry Burkham, the guy that made the Famicast theme song, he actually, I had helped him get one, and I had it sent to his place in America, and he got to try it out and stuff. He put out some impressions on his podcast, Talk Nintendo Podcast. If you're not listening to that, it's something you should be listening to. But yeah, if you want the download on that, check him out. Yeah, battery draining, but it still feels pretty good apparently.
Cool. Looks like a nice D-pad.
Mhm.
Well, better than the non-D-pad.
Yeah.
The non-pad that we have.
Yeah, definitely better than the Xbox 360 D-pad.
Yep. So is jamming your thumb into a blender.
Yes, my second favorite thing to do. Moving on, hardware. So we're going to go ahead and start from the top. And Sairus, what do we have at number 1?
It's a shocker, but
Yeah.
it's the Switch. Who would have guessed? It's 48,370 units sold this week.
Yep. And I apologize, I don't have the numbers for specifics, like in Japan, X amount is sold for any of these systems except for the very last one. It's at the bottom of this list.
Which is not hard to measure.
Yeah. But yeah, coming in at number 2, what do we got, James?
What?
On the hardware.
Oh, right. The PlayStation, the 4th, just under 14,000. A fraction of the Switch sales. A mere fraction. Pathetic. But people are still playing Rockman on it over the Switch version, so good luck to them.
Right. Yep. Coming up after that is the new 2DS LL, or XL, if you will, about 5,500 units, followed by the PlayStation 4 Pro, about 5,000. And then, Sairus, what do we have coming up after that? It's kind of surprised to see this thing still alive.
Yeah, this is apparently still existing, is the Vita. It's 3,414. So still hanging in.
Vita. Okay.
Yes.
The Vita, then followed by the new 3DS LL or XL or whatever it is, is 2,723 units.
Yes. And this is when we start falling off the cliff in here with the numbers, and I'm amazed at how pinpoint they can get these sometimes.
Right.
Yeah, and then 3DS followed by the 2DS at 532, and then everyone's favorite, running in the back, is the Xbox One X and the Xbox One are at 317 units and 48 units.
The world's most powerful console.
Yeah, actually, it was really weird to see the X selling more than just the traditional, Xbox One. I mean, it's relatively. I think I talked about it the last episode. It's relatively cheap here, and the X is really hard to. I don't even know where the hell you'd even get this stuff, honestly. Online, probably.
You have to know a guy.
Yeah,
the guy's name is Ty.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And this last little bit, I picked up from our boy Brian. Like somehow they tracked Wii U sales for this particular week.
Oh, did he make a whole story about this? Didn't he?
Yeah, he did, and I thought that was funny. So I just gonna include this in here. Wii U for this particular week, 16 units flying off the shelf.
Well, I mean, that's the usual Wii U sales, even when it just came out, wasn't it?
Yeah, pretty much.
That was week 1 sale and week 351 sales.
Yeah.
I wonder what people are playing on it. I mean, the only exclusive game that you can't get anywhere else is Mario Maker, isn't it?
Brian did have a story about that, like what's top games that are on the eShop and stuff. And yeah, I mean, Mario
Fatal
Maker
Frame.
That's not even up there. It's
I still have a couple of Disney Infinity campaigns I've yet to finish. They'll be busted out eventually.
Yeah, but a lot of Virtual Console stuff was on the top downloads list.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah. Well, yeah, there's still no Virtual Console on Switch. So yeah. Bunch of DS games you can play on your Wii U as well.
Yeah, I think I could have swore that there was a DS game in like the top 20 or something on their list.
I wonder how much Splatoon 1 is these days. I mean, I wonder if they've bothered reducing it.
Probably full price, man.
Yeah, that's what it's Japan, isn't it? It's probably like 5,000 yen. But like, once they turn off the servers, I mean, that game is going to be literally useless, isn't it?
Unless you like the one-player mode.
One-player mode and the two-player on the same console mode.
Yep.
But yeah, it's going to be a sad day.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm probably sure there's a whole bunch of people who are still playing it on Wii U because maybe they just haven't saved up for a Switch yet.
Yeah.
But then the day they get Splatoon 2, that's immediately in the trash. So
yeah, exactly. Okie dokie. Well, that's going to go ahead and do it for the news. Now we're going to go ahead and move on to some feedback from you guys.
It's feedback.
That's right. And if you want your feedback read out here on the air, you can email us at thefamicast@gmail.com. You can hit us up on Twitter at thefamicast. You can hit us up on Facebook at thefamicast. If you're watching us live right now, thank you very much. Thanks for joining us. Hope you're having a good time watching. If you're watching after the fact, hi. Thanks for watching. I hope you're having a great time. Send some comments or something. We'll read them out. But James,
who's Danny talking to at this point?
Yeah, just before you go on, speaking of feedback, a few people on the YouTube channel have been saying they've been playing the Wii U. Like Anthony Dranfield has been playing the Wii U right now for Virtual Console.
Oh, nice.
So still hanging in there.
Cool.
Definitely. He said he's been playing Advance Wars.
Okay. It's definitely, they do have a lot of stuff on the Virtual Console. It's pretty incredible, really. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. We got some comments from YouTube here. Chariot Goblin says, I think Danny should have said, Japanese law is family complicated. Missed opportunity.
Yeah, story of my life.
That was, I guess that was from the last episode. I don't know, were we talking about law? Oh, yeah, maybe we were talking about Uber and stuff like that, weren't we?
Yeah.
Next one is from Haitani. He says, are you sure it's Old English? I know I'm just bashing on semantics here, but a typical Shakespearean English is called modern early English. And yeah, he's right. He's right. Old English is like, you can barely read it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost French. It's like a completely different language.
Dutch. Yeah,
when I was in high school, it was so weird. They had somebody speaking it on like some old record. Obviously, okay, I'm not trying to say that this record is from the old. No, I'm not saying that. But I'm saying English. Like I got to like listen to what it would be like, and I was like, wow, this is really weird. But
yeah, so we were talking about Old English from a game, Octopath Traveler. Yeah. Octopath Traveler. I said it was using Old English, but yeah, I guess it was more like early modern English or Shakespearean or whatever. Next one from Alex Beltram. He says he just finished watching my Yonder the Cloud Catcher Chronicles video review. Thank you very much. He says, finally, a game I can sink my teeth into. And to that, I say, yeah, good luck to him, because hope you like games where you can't die. So, yeah. Next one is from friend of the show, in quotation marks, Russ Greeno. He's been watching my stream of the Super Chariot. He said he played the first few levels on Xbone, and he was enjoying it until the level started taking 15 minutes or so. They weren't difficult, just getting tedious. But he may go back and give it another shot. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, the levels were quite long, so yeah, I could see that getting a bit boring if that's the whole game. Let's move on to some Twitter comments now. Let me see. So, a couple of comments from a guy called Sairus here at Cellsci.
Sounds cool.
We tweeted. Well, let me just read his comment first, then we'll make a decision on that. We tweeted out a picture of Nickelodeon kart races, and it was me who tweeted that out using the Famicast account, and I just asked thoughts, and then Cyrus replies, no, tweeting a picture of, he'd kind of cropped out Raphael from the Turtles. So in case you didn't know, Nickelodeon kart races combines all your favorite TV personalities, Turtles, SpongeBob, the Rugrats, into one amazing kart racer. So yeah, good luck to them. Another one from the same Cyrus person. He says, stay fresh, and he's taking a picture of all, how many is it? 3, 6, 7, 8, 9 Splatoon amiibos. Jesus Christ.
I don't have the alternate colors, and I don't have the new squid. Like, because I'm like, I've got one squid, I don't need a slightly different posed squid. So,
oh, right, yeah, because there must be like, how many in total now?
Well, there's like, the 3 alternate colors plus that squid, so what, 13?
Jesus Christ.
Plus the Octolings coming out later this year.
You need them all.
Oh, of course I need those ones.
No, everything.
In a perfect world.
Okay. Okay. So we never really check Facebook comments.
There's nothing.
Are there any Facebook comments?
No, nothing recently.
Nothing recently.
If you're on Facebook, leave a comment or something. Let me just, even if it's just like for this episode or something, be like, hey, I follow you on Facebook. Or just, fuck you.
Yeah, lots of people like our stuff on Facebook, but not many people actually comment on it. Right?
Yep.
Thank you to those people. We're not as snarky as these two are making us out to be. Right. We appreciate you.
No, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think that's about. I mean, we got some weird comments from Google Plus. Rest in peace. We started publishing our comments on publishing our articles from our website on Google Plus, but then we got all these people complaining about Fortnite. I guess people hate Fortnite at the moment. Maybe it's the what do you call it, the PUBG crowd. They're like, oh, fucking Fortnite! Don't show your Fortnite videos, bro, or whatever.
Nobody cares. Okay.
Nobody cares about you,
turf, man.
Yeah. So we're sorry. That was just a fun video we did where we all played Fortnite together, and it was for patrons anyway, so they couldn't watch it. So well, unless you want to, then please join our Patreon and watch it.
You can support us in buying like actual gear for our Fortnite characters.
Yeah, it's generic man 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah. Can't wait.
Yeah, I think that's all about it for comments.
Okay.
I don't think we had any emails, right?
Don't think so.
I think you replied to Jefferson's one, right?
Yes.
Asking for some help. Yeah. You replied to him, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, if you're in Japan and need some help, email Danny.
Seriously, yeah. Email
the famicast@gmail.com and he'll get back to you. He'll help you out, whatever, we need a place to stay or whatever, as always. This house
no, seriously,
is open bar.
Right. If you seriously are in Japan and you maybe need some help or advice trying to get to some kind of event or something like that, just hit me up on Twitter or send us an email to Famicast. I'll try to help you out. Seriously. I don't know if I can get you a place to stay, but I can at least point you in a direction to where you need to go.
Oh, actually,
we'll be publishing Danny's address after the show.
Yeah,
it's a Patreon exclusive.
On that note, not on that note, but on the note of people coming to Japan. Actually, friend of the show, Kevin Cecil, I'm going to go out and say only Emmy award-winning fan of the show.
Dude, I'm right here.
If there are any other Emmy award-winning listeners, then please write in. I'll correct my mistake. But yeah, he's actually in Japan at the moment, and hopefully going to meet up with him this week. So that'll be exciting. We haven't actually met in real life, but he has been on the show. I forgot what the episode title was called. Maybe it was called Awards Season. I think that was what it was called.
In December.
Yeah, last year. So yeah, check that out if you want to see/hear him. It was one of the he starred in the IT crowd. He's written for a bunch of like stuff. British comedy shows like Black Books and stuff like that.
Yes, I mean we have like Emmy award-winning, BAFTA award-winning.
Yeah,
I mean that's the Famicast. That's us.
That's us. Officially, we are Emmy nominated. So deal with it. So yeah.
Around
anyway,
that way,
cool.
Yeah.
So I wonder if he's brought his Emmy with him to Japan.
Probably keeps it around with him all the time.
Yeah, just whips it out all the time.
Hey, check.
By the way, Chris Volak in the chat says that if he gets help for being in Japan, he only wants it to come from Famicomplicated. He only wants snarky help because it's the best help.
Okay. Yeah, that's probably better. A lot more fun.
I'm your man for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Please to enjoy. Right then, I think that about wraps up the show, Danny.
Yeah, it does.
Do we? Oh, so before we go, I mean, the next show for our patrons is going to be an episode of AC/DC, which is Famicast Armchair Designers Club, which is the two snarkiest people on the show. That's me and Ty. We break down a game series or genre and we fix it. You're welcome. So we basically make the perfect game. And so yeah, please to enjoy. So patrons, look forward to that. And for the regular folk, Please look forward to episode 132 near the end of the month, right?
Yep.
Yeah. And we've got that awesome Paladins stream coming up. But there'll be lots of free streams for y'all as well. Free gameplay, videos to watch, video reviews and all that kind of stuff on the YouTube channel. So yeah, you won't feel left out.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Alrighty. Well, like James said, that's going to go ahead and bring Famicast 131 to a close. We're going to go ahead and give out our Twitter handles if you want to follow us. If you want to follow me, you can follow me at DannyBiv, DANNYBIV. James, where can we follow you?
I'm at Famicomplicated. I should give out my real one for once.
Yeah, for a change. It's been a couple months.
People are like, what the fuck is James's Twitter handle? He keeps changing it every episode.
Yeah, exactly. And Sairus, how can people find you?
You can find me at Celsi, where I lament about having no time to play anything. Just what you want to hear from a game reviewer.
Do you miss Japan, Sairus?
Just a teensy bit.
Okay.
And by teensy bit, I mean, like, yes, a lot.
Well, you said that a single tear went down your cheek, so I kind of, I read between the lines.
Watching My Hero Academia, I was hit by the Natsukashis pretty hardcore.
Actually, there've been two, world famous podcast hosts that have recently left Japan. There's Sairus, obviously the most famous and most important in the world.
Right.
But there's also, JJ, Justin Epperson from the 8-4 show. He's now back in America. And he's also saying, how much, misses some parts of Japan. But it was kind of funny. The first thing he said was like, now I'm back in America, I can finally watch all this anime. And it's funny because like in Japan, we don't have those kind of like all you can eat, style, Netflix style services like Crunchyroll. Mm-hmm. But obviously in Japan, in the West, they do have those. So now he can watch like all this anime in English as much as he wants. Now he's back in America. You can't watch that much. You can't watch any dubbed or subtitled anime in Japan, and you're paying for individual episodes at maximum price. So yeah.
I mean, by the off chance that you find some of this stuff on Netflix, I mean, if you wanted English subs, it ain't gonna happen. If you want an English dub, they're just gonna tell you to go fuck yourself.
Forget about it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Right?
So, yeah, it's crazy that like I'm watching My Hero Academia now, and it's like at least they try to simulcast it in English and Japanese. So like the English dub is out the same day as the Japanese dub.
Wow,
which is nuts.
Are you watching it on Crunchyroll or?
Yeah, Crunchyroll.
Wow,
I've seen that show on TV once.
It's good.
It's like, okay, there's a guy with the green hair, this guy with like half head,
It's Naruto, but with superheroes.
Yeah.
Japan doesn't even have English animations in English. Never mind Japanese animations.
Oh, I know.
It's not an exaggeration.
Yeah.
Like all these kids shows on Netflix, it's like, oh, Peter Rabbit, the classic British animation made in Britain by British people with British actors. Oh, it's only in Japanese. Fuck off.
Dude, I was really surprised because SpongeBob's on Netflix Japan, but for the longest time, they only had an English dub, a Japanese dub, and a Chinese dub. And you couldn't like mix them up in any way, shape, or form. But recently they added like a Japanese dub, or I'm sorry, a Japanese subs to the English.
Right.
So yeah, I thought that was weird how they did that. But.
In case you've just tuned in, you're listening to Dub Chat, a weekly podcast about animation dubs
and dubstep.
and weirdly dubstep. Dub Chat. Your source for dub news.
That's right.
Dubba dabba. That's the catchphrase. That's the catchphrase of the new spin-off show, Famicast spin-off show.
Yeah, there it is.
That sounds like a good time to end the show.
Yeah. All right. Again, thank you guys for watching. Thank you for listening. If you're listening to the audio version, of course, I want to thank these two jokers for joining me, and we'll catch you next time. See ya.
Dubba dabba.
Bye.